Good hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, instead of doing the mid-year book freakout tag, which I actually did do on my blog, there's a link down below, I'm going to be doing a two-part series. The first part is, as the title suggests, my favorite books of 2019 so far, and then part 2 will be my least favorite books of 2019 so far. So without further ado, let's jump into the books. One of the first books that I read this year was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am absolutely in love with this book. It made it onto my favorite books of all time, and I only have a few little tabs in it because I ended up reading this both via audiobook and I was reading it as an ebook because I was traveling. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up earlier. Clearly you can see that I got it from Book of the Month, which means I've had it for a while and I still haven't read it because I canceled my Book of the Month subscription a while ago. I made a mistake in not reading this sooner. I absolutely love the writing style. I loved Evelyn Hugo's character. She just feels so real. And if you've watched any BookTube since this released, like, you will hear the same thing over and over again. I don't know a single person who doesn't love The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and if they don't love it, they haven't read it yet. Up next is a little gem that we got in Owl Crate, and that is The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. This is like the happiest little surprise I think I've ever received. It is literally the cutest graphic novel I think I've ever read. Every page is just so vibrant and the story is beautiful, and it's made as a middle grade, I believe. And it goes through each season and it's literally just like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so stinking cute. I'm definitely upset that it is as short as it is, but I'm in love with it and I can't wait for the Tea Dragon Festival to come out. Next up is an ARC that I read, and that is the Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. It is out now, but when I did read it, I received it as an ARC from NetGalley, and oh my god, this book was just so stinking good. Like, I can't tell you how much I love Tiffy and Leon and how their entire love story becomes like I love it. The entire premise is Leon has this flat that he doesn't use during the evening because he works, and Tiffy is now looking for a flat, and so it just so happens that Leon puts an ad up, Tiffy sees it, goes for it, and then they start leaving each other post-it notes, and their love story just, I love it so much. And I'm definitely going to buy it. I'm really debating if I want the US cover versus the UK cover, and I think I'll put my favorite one right here, so whichever one you see here is probably the one that I'm gonna buy. But I think everyone should read this. It's so stinking cute and I love it very, very much. Another graphic novel series that I absolutely adored was Saga. If you follow me on Instagram, read my blog, or have been on my YouTube channel at all, I have spoken about the Saga comics literally nonstop. So of course they had to make it. I'm in love with the story, and it's definitely really interesting to see the shift from a young adult / new adult to an adult graphic novel series. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of the best things I've ever read, and I'm really sad that we're not going to get a new one for a while, but I did love what we got so far. Continue on the theme of, if you know me literally at all, you know that this next series / book isn't going to be a surprise, and I'm going to hold up book 1 because it's the start of the series, the start of the love, and that is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I'm trash for this series. Finale came out this year. I've already read it twice. I'll probably end up rereading this by the end of the year. It's so good. And I think the reason why I say it's so good is because of the escapism that it creates for me when I read it. So I definitely think the reading experience for me personally is one of the biggest factors as to why I love it so much. Finale broke my heart in the best way possible. Like I said when I finished Finale and in my review and etc., I don't think we've seen the end of this world, so I'm really hoping that Stephanie Garber continues writing. Up next is definitely an unexpected favorite, but one that I didn't rate 5 stars. I think I gave this like a 4 or 4.5. And that's The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Now, I finally own this book, but before I owned it, I got it from the library and read it from the library. And so I'm itching to do a reread of this so I can continue the series. This was probably one of the coolest books I've read in a really long time, and I literally haven't stopped thinking about it. I think once I reread it, I might bump my rating up just because I kind of already understand the world a little bit better. But it's definitely info dumpy at the beginning, and it's just there's so much to this. So it definitely takes a while. I freaking love this book, and it's a bit of a chunker for sure. It's a little over 500 pages, and right now from my reading and how it's been going, it's a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm definitely excited for when I do get to reread it. Up next is a book that I read as part of Smetathon. So this was read in the beginning of June, and it is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I love this. I genuinely am so happy when I think about this book. I love the dynamic between Alex and Henry. I think this was genuinely the perfect summer read for me. Definitely will read this for when I need a little pick-me-up. But it is fairly chunky for it being a contemporary novel. But I think Casey McQuiston really, what's the phrase? Hit the nail on the head. Because this, for a debut novel, I'm so impressed and I genuinely love it so much. To continue on with the theme of contemporary / kind of smutty books, I've got The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This was such an unexpected favorite of mine. I didn't think I was going to be so invested in Stella and Michael's relationship. I didn't think it was going to develop as much as it did. So Stella has Asperger's, and so she hires Michael, who's an escort, to essentially teach her how to have sex. Fake dating, I think, is one of my favorite tropes right now. And I just love Stella and Michael's dynamic. I love that the family was such a big part of how they developed and as part of their backstories, but yet they still have so much more to them than what the premise may seem. This is definitely one of those books where I would not be attracted to this because of the cover. It just has a bunch of math. I'm sorry, I know it's part of the story, but barely. So, I don't know. The cover's not my favorite thing in the entire world, and I understand the kiss quote, but if you know, it makes sense. But if there was a little bit more math involved in doing, you know what I mean? Got this June of last year, read it June of this year. The last thing I have for this list is the Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise comics, volumes 1 through 3. I read these in literally 2 days. I finished volume 3 today. Most definitely a favorite of the year, and definitely a favorite of all time. Avatar: The Last Airbender is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's one of those where I can literally rewatch the seasons over and over and over and still be so happy. This series is meant to kind of gap the end of the show with whatever happened between the end of that show and The Legend of Korra. So, because I've already finished rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm going to read all of the comics leading up to The Legend of Korra, rewatch The Legend of Korra, and then read all of the comics. I'm very happy I started this little Avatar binge because they are 100% favorites of the year. So guys, that's it. Those are the favorites of 2019 so far. Let me know what some of your favorites of 2019 are so far. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and until then, I'll talk to you on Instagram.